So today is July 7th, it's 2009, and this is George Helmer. George is down from California, and we're in Joe Vitale's home gym. And George has brought down the Steve Reeves Universal weight machine, and he has spent most of the day putting it together with very little help from Joe and Brad. Brad, you don't mind being on this, do you? It's too late now, isn't it?
I'm on.
Brad, what's your last name?
Joe was here the whole time.
Brad Marcus.
Yeah, I was here the whole time.
You were here. Well, you worked.
Thank you. I did work there. It's on record. I worked. It took 7 hours to put this thing together.
That wasn't easy.
Yeah, that was me taking 2 naps.
A few mistakes, not many, but had to take a couple things apart twice.
So this is an amazing piece of equipment. George, can you give me just a little history on it real quick? Nothing major, just,
yeah,
you know.
No problem. Steve bought this in, I believe, around the mid-'70s, and he put it out in his home gym. He worked out with it at least 3 days a week, maybe more sometimes. He's made some alterations to it. He's added little features that works for him. He raised the bar, changes the angles on a couple pieces. He's let's see which ones that he's done. But in any case, he does a lot of things, including this bench that he actually cut and re-welded. And what he did is, this is a sit-up bench, basically, for doing sit-ups. But what he did is he built this little platform on here. And by changing all the angles, this is what he used for doing his cable workouts. So he would have the cables in there and do bicep curls and pullovers and different things like that. But he had a method of how he took something and say, well, this doesn't have the right angles to it, and he would alter the machine to fit what he thought would be the right thing to do. Even as much as, I think there's a bar here. Where's that bar at? Oh, even this, something like this, just something as simple as this. He would put eyelets on the bar, and then he would hook cables up to it to do his cable exercises. There was a few other things around. I can't remember what they were offhand, but he was very good at inventing different things for his workouts. And, yeah, so he, like I said, he had this up until the time he passed away. He was working out with it, and I'm really happy to see it here with Joe, because I know Joe will take good care of this machine.
Yeah, it won't get used. This way it's going to stay clean like this. And 30 years from now, if somebody wants it and they want to go buy it from me, it's going to look exactly like this.
It's inspiration. Just working out on this equipment, you know that Steve is here with you doing your workouts. And, you're touching equipment that, he lifted every day. And so, even for myself, I love working out on this equipment. It's a really nice piece. It's all commercial grade. It's all been chrome plated. I mean, it's the top of the line. Steve got right from Universal, bought it brand new. And I know that he actually at one time when he had a shoulder problem, so he actually there's a couple little devices here. But what he would do is take the overhead press, run a cable up and over the top, and have somebody pull down on it, which would raise the bars until he got the first rep or two in. Once he got his shoulder warmed up, and then they would release the rest of the pressure on it. But he rehabbed his shoulder on this equipment. And John Little and myself worked out with Steve on this equipment when we were writing the book, Building a Classic Physique. And at an older age, Steve basically took care of John and myself and made us look bad. I mean, this guy was strong and fit up until the time he passed away. I can tell you that he walked into the hospital and never walked out, but he was actually on his ranch, running his ranch up until that time. So, I mean, even when he was sick, he was thinking about how he was going to get well, what he needed to eat. He couldn't digest food very well, so he'd make protein drinks and all that stuff. So, but anyway, he would work out as best he could. and this was something that he had always wanted. And like I said, I'm happy to see that it's found a new home that's with Joe. So that's all I have to say on it.
Let's look at some of the things you can do. And part of this, because I want Scott to see it too, because he sends me email workouts, and this way he can say, okay, get on the Reeves machine and do such and such. So I know one of them is I can sit here and I can use this for the upper body type thing. I have to sit here. Oh, I have to put the...
Oh, he's got 10,000 pounds.
Who did that? Somebody set me up.
Yeah.
I knew the camera was wrong.
Yeah.
So I know one of them is here.
For doing overhead presses.
Yeah, the overhead presses, such and such. We know this is for the legs, so we'd be sitting there and adjust this. We have to get more of these someplace and do that. That you have to jump on a trampoline to reach, and then do your chin-ups, pull-ups, such and such.
This is a pull down. You can do lat pull downs, or you can do tricep extensions on this, which is real nice. And he built this little piece up here so that the bar doesn't always swing around. He just works it and get it up out of the way. So.
And then we have another pulley here, correct?
Yeah, this is for doing biceps, or you can and there's several attachments on it, or you can do legs, do crossovers and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't even realize that's right. You could hook up that and do the crossovers with it.
Or whatever cable exercise you'd want to do. And then also it's got the bench press.
The bench on the other side.
And
and we have the ab work here as well.
So it's...
But you also told me Steve didn't do ab work.
No, Steve didn't do ab work. Steve believed basically you can do most of your abs by doing other body parts. Whether you're doing a leg press, you're pulling down on your abs, or you're doing bench press. You're always contracting your abs for certain things. But and then a lot of people never realize that if you see a lot of pictures of Steve, you won't find a lot of pictures where it shows that he's got a six-pack or of abs. But I have a couple photos that was taken by Mario Lanza, not Mario Lanza, he was a singer, by Lanza, Tony Lanza. And there was one picture where Steve was leaning back and gritting down, and you could actually see his abs really well. And so I looked at that photo and told myself, Steve has good abs. He just never worked them that. He didn't also believe in working your traps too much, because he believed basically in the classic physique, where symmetry is involved, and he felt that if your traps are too big, it makes your neck look real wide, and you don't look like you have any width on your shoulders. He believes that if your neck goes down and goes out, and then your waist goes down, that's the look that he was trying to get, and that's what works for him. If you look at him, the symmetry is unbelievable.
And speaking of looks, I don't know if you can shoot that or not, but here's a picture of Steve using this very machine. He's sitting in the chair on the other side. He's going ahead doing the leg work with this. Back is nice and straight. He's very focused. Looks like he knows exactly what he's doing.
And that was taken about the same time in probably the early to mid 80s. Weeder came down to do a photo shoot for Muscle and Fitness, May of '83 issue, and I believe a lot of these photos were taken around that same period of time. And
from a marketing standpoint, it's always good to see the propaganda they used. Here is proof. That's what it says. Yeah. Universal's dynamic variable resistance doubles your strength gains over Olympic bar training. The hell with the Olympic bars. In fact, here's Steve Reeves' signature, which I can peel off and put on anything.